Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Pokemon Legends EA Online Ranked Battles. Today we have Greninja. We're going to be running a physical Greninja. This Mon packs a lot of power, well, more than you would expect. Its stats are designed in a way where it's like Lucario, where it can be one thing, but you can treat it like the other. It looks like a special attacker, but it has some good physical stuff. Let's get into the set and the team. Okay, so first up we have Taki the Greninja. We're going to be running Ice Punch, Waterfall, Night Slash, and Sword Stance. Sword Stance obviously because we're physical, and Ice Punch to deal with the funny dragons that are still running around. And Dual Stab with Waterfall and Night Slash. Stats are going to be simple. Max HP, max attack. The attack itself is pretty low, but with a Life Orb and full investment, and Sword Stance, we should be doing great damage. Backing us up, we're bringing back Bones. Instead of Stone Edge, we're going to be running Thunder Punch because this team needs somebody that can handle those metal birds. So Sword Stance, Brick Break, Bone Meringue, and Thunder Punch. Same as last time, Thick Club with max attack and HP investments. And Zero is making her return again. So Sword Stance, Stone Edge, Flare Blitz, Phantom Force with max HP and max attack. And an Expert Belt to boost that damage a little bit further. So probably the only thing this team has real difficulty with is Swampert. But outside of that, this team can handle a lot. And the only thing that you have to watch out for is just being as frail as a Greninja is. You pretty much have to use its great mobility and, pick and choose your fights very carefully. It can do a lot more damage than you're expecting it's going to do, but it also goes down to a lot of things that you would normally survive on a more sturdy Mon. But let's get into the battles. Okay, so for our first match, we're going to be out on Lake. If you want to run this team or something, or if you want to run physical Greninja specifically, I do think investing into screens isn't like a bad idea. The only reason why I don't want to do that is just because I need to get as many KOs as possible. And so sometimes it's just a bit faster to get Greninja out there and going. He does have some problem matchups. I guess also Glycopod is one of those like matchups where it's a little difficult. So, you just gotta be careful about like what matchups you choose and who you're trying to fight. But that's why like these teammates here have a really good spread of different coverage moves. Protect also isn't a bad idea to throw on Greninja, because yeah, it's a pretty frail Mon. But you can see here, like, if somebody's running Mega Glycopod, you've got coverage for it. I just feel like in general having Fire Mon is just a good idea. So yeah, the field is kind of really mixed. So Ceruledge and Marowak are really good at handling a lot of different situations. Greninja is definitely one of those like, oh, you need me specifically to handle like a counter matchup. Half the time when Garchomp's on the screen, Greninja isn't too bad. It's just when it gets Sword Stance up, Greninja really has difficulty dealing with it. And that doesn't matter if you're physical or not, that's just how Garchomp is. But check this out. Plus Waterfall with Sword Stance, one-shots Lucario. It's great. And right here, I have to play Lulu to run away. that's pretty much what you're going to be doing a lot, actually, with Greninja. You're just going to be running away, looking for the super effective matchups, and sniping what you can, because Greninja just has really great movement speed. So take advantage of that every time that you can. And when you can't, you can just throw bones at people, and there's nothing they can do. I still really like running Brick Break on Marowak over like double ground coverage, just because like in that situation there, it just comes out super fast, and you know, you're just able to get KOs that people aren't expecting that you're gonna get. And yep, we're gonna finish up the round with a pretty great KO score for Greninja. Did a lot of work, and the team all contributed. It's I really like this set. It's not perfect, especially if people are focusing you, but because Marowak is probably the only one with any like real survivability, and that's not good when Marowak is the one that has the most survivability. So in fields like this, where you have not great times, like great matchups everywhere, and everyone is just running directly at you, really it's probably better to just swap into something that has better matchups for everything, than try to rely on Greninja to not die. Because in Park, the one thing that sucks is there just is not an easy way to maneuver around the map. Oh yeah, and you know, if Sword Stance gets a KO on Lucario, then the Power Booster definitely will. I got a nice little, I definitely shouldn't have won that interaction moment where I don't know, I got hit by Moonblast, but still slid into Gardevoir and got the KO. So it's like, oh, alright, sure. And yeah, it's just a really easy time for Ceruledge to kind of go crazy. Like super effective into everybody. Unfortunately, Flare Blitz does cost a lot of life in order to use. This Lucario player should probably have just gone for a Nasty Plot Steel Beam, because that always wins against Marowak. But yeah, I just want to go back over into Greninja as soon as I see this Chandelure. So normally you don't want to do that because they normally have Solar Beam, especially now with the you know, the Swampert being around. And oh, I make a pretty bad mistake here thinking, you know, Glaceon has a lot more survivability than you think it does. So if you go after it, make sure you have Sword Stance up. And here I'm just gonna Ice Punch. Yeah, finish that off. But yeah, Greninja is definitely one of those mons that, like, regardless, wants to have the its setup done. I guess Marowak does too. Yeah, can I go down to an Ice Beam because I'm being greedy? Greed is definitely my biggest problem. The nice thing about this team is that you can just dump meter all the time. And it doesn't really matter that much. I could have made this a 16 KO game if I had set up beforehand, but like, I don't know, I think that's a range. Yeah, it's not a whole lot I can get accomplished, you know, with that little time remaining, but 15 big KOs is pretty dang good. Yeah, pretty much just a lot of finishing other people's plates, or it's getting set up and not being the main target. And that's really hard to do on on park, but on street it's a little bit easier. Sure, your first partner may or may not be like difficult to handle, but you know, sometimes they don't want to have anything to do with each other. So sometimes Baxcaliburs have freeze dry, and it's not really that big of an issue because it doesn't really do that much damage. So we're gonna see here, this Baxcalibur player does have freeze dry. They're going to come over and land freeze dry. And it's like, yeah, that is damage that I need to be concerned about, but like only if I ever get hit once. And the thing about Greninja is that I'm usually dead. Here I make a critical mistake of being too close to a wall. The only downside about Marowak, you just always have to be aware. Like that Lucario player is aware of me focusing on the Mega Altaria. You don't need to care about Altaria, but also this is a Greninja video and I just want to get every KO I can with him. So, depending on what the Baxcalibur has, like for other moves, you know, Marowak needs to be careful. But, you know, Iron Head, Freeze Try, and I think they had Glaive Rush. I probably would have been fine. My brain turned off for a second and I clicked Brick Break. It's my like default panic button. So, oops, sorry about that. Fortunately, geez, Ceruledge does so much damage. Just one-shotting there is crazy. So I started thinking like, oh, they're gonna swap, right? And they do, but then I see Baxcalibur, great, and then I should have finished my game. I should have just did it and swapped. Sometimes overthinking bad. And you know, maybe not a great idea to directly fight Absol Z. They always have close combat and play rough, which are things that Greninja doesn't like. Here, I don't set up specifically because I want to get the, you know, snipe the KO. And then I should have spent a meter. And it's like, but, oh right, I didn't have the meter, that's right. So I'm gonna toss a Boomerang into where, you know, like, knowing that people are gonna be swapping. And it's just, sometimes it's just a good idea because you will just land Boomerangs. Like, they will just fly out and hit somebody. And yeah, that's pretty much gonna be the end of the match. Big 12, really great job from the team. Now, this team finally has some dual screens users. But I just don't ever get a real chance to use a Brick Break on it. That's the one thing that's really annoying in my head. I definitely view Brick Break as a, like, more of a fast type move, fast type fighting move, and anything else is kind of a bonus. And I get lucky that, hey, they switch over to Imbor for me, and I get the flinch. The flinch was very nice. Unfortunately, I try to time my Ice Punch to, you know, hit when they land, but I mistime it. Dang. But yeah, so I'm trying to land a Brick Break on the brick, on the screens. I completely whiff because I take too long to set up. Oh well, one bone is just going to blow up Imbor, and then Brick Break is up, and boom, chop. It's just a really good move. Look how much damage that. Ah, jeez. No sword stance, just the raw power. So there is a. Oh yeah, and you know sometimes it's just fine to toss the bones out when you're swapping against Marowak. You gotta be careful about like where you're putting your, your swap at. Otherwise, you'll just swap into the bones as they're flying by. So that Terra Slash earlier, that did an absurd amount of damage. I was not ready for that at all. And, yeah, I'm going to grab that power booster, and I'm just going to swap on the bridge, because I can never trust where things actually are. Thankfully, the Bullet Punch delivery system sends that to me, and I'm going to get that easy brick break. So I switch over, like, at the tail end of the Solar Beam, thinking, okay, I think I've got it. No, that was silly. I should have gone to Ceruledge. That was a big mistake. Here, I get pretty lucky after the Ice Punch. This waterfall slides in and hits the Raichu Y, so I'm able to get it to get a knockout before it's able to threaten me. So happy about that. Always happy to get random free KOs. And Swords Dancing in front of Greninja is always a silly idea when you got the power boost. So I didn't see earlier that the Charizard player had already used Solar Beam earlier. I could have gone in for Waterfall, but I didn't know and just want to play safe. So just gonna throw a Stone Edge. That's gonna miss on the Charizard, but it does tap the Ampharos, and then finish off with the Flare Blitz. And then I'm trying to get a KO on the Lucario, but it Mega Evolves, and I'm not able to get 12. Still, it was good work all around. When you put Greninja up against like good matchups, it can do pretty well. But even its good matchups, you have to be careful because it is just so frail. Like if they had Solar Beam, that would just one-shot me. This one thing that kind of stinks as water types versus versus types that you normally have an advantage. Like every Firemon, for some reason, almost every Firemon has Solar Beam as an option. And it's kind of annoying. Fortunately, in the beginning of a round like this, I'm not too concerned, because, they don't have meter to spend on a plus Solar Beam. And, I love the range. It's really fun. So here I need to swap off in order to not get got by the funny Wrestleman, Hawlucha. And I get pretty fortunate that I need to live on 1 HP. So, always great. At this point though, Pyroar has, it should have had meter, but I guess it didn't. I'll take it. One thing that's nice about having Thunder Punch is I can threaten just about anything. I just need to remember to actually do it. And they pack themselves up together, so I'm able to get both Hawlucha and Mega Starmie. So, pretty great. Yeah, and here I just want to stay kind of far out so I don't kind of dunk myself. And seeing both the Mega and Hawlucha over there, yeah, I'm hopping off. And I get a little too close, but fortunately, no stab on Earthquake means not a whole lot of damage, really. And, I don't know, maybe gets a little bit of a Mexican standoff there. Swords Dancing in front of Starmie is maybe not the smartest thing to do, but, I'm not exactly the smartest player either. And, yeah, I sure do love Night Slash. Fortunately, it's a quick recharge, so, I get it up almost immediately. And, yeah, I kind of benched myself there, but at least I can get this plus Ice Punch before my Swords Dance wears out. And, not much I can do about Flying Press, no swaps left. But I am going to bring out Marowak because I'm expecting to, land a punch on somebody, a Thunder Punch. But, oh well, here's some big Boomerang damage. So here, I'm just kind of waiting to see, what is he going to do? Is he going to pull out Solar Beam or no? So pulls out Earth Powers and okay, I'll come out and handle you. And then gonna set up. I don't know why the Solar Beam didn't KO the Starmie there, but oh well. Gonna finish off the Drampont and the Mega Starmie to get Big 14. I really like this team. It's definitely not perfect, but it is at least pretty fast-paced and pretty frantic. You are constantly making decisions. Okay, and that's gonna do it for the video. I do like Physical Greninja. I think it is a unique playstyle, and I think it actually plays better into the hit and run style that Greninja, and I think it's better for it. There are definitely a lot of benefits to special attacking Greninja, especially if you run double Water Stab with either like Scald and Hydro Pump or Scald and Hydro Cannon. Those are definitely good, and but you know, if you want to do something really fast and you know, it just keeps you on your toes throughout the entire game, Physical Greninja is a lot of fun. You could also run stuff like Gunk Shot and Bounce. The only problem with Bounce to me is that certain targets it just wasn't KOing. So, you know, if you run into like a Annihilate, especially if they have Bulk Up running, you want to be really careful if you run Bounce. But still, the iframes are really nice for a really fragile Mon. I just felt having Ice Punch to deal with the Ice Weak Mons is a pretty useful, especially some weaker grass types that just crumple to Swords Dance plus Ice Punch. But yeah, I do recommend giving a Physical Greninja a shot. And if you want some more insurance that you might actually live, invest in screens. Screens will definitely make playing Physical Greninja a lot less stressful. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the video. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Bye bye!